song's from The Big Chair by Tears for Fears, the 1985 album from the fantastic British new wave pop rock group. One of the best albums of its era, of its genre, in my opinion, and that is why I have to. It is a no-brainer. It has to be done, that I have to give this album a classic review. An album that has stood the test of time wonderfully and is, even up until this day, in my opinion, one of the best pop albums of all time for me that I've heard. It's not a strictly pop album. There are other elements and other genres coming through. But when you kind of look at the genre of pop holistically, when you listen to the songs on this album and you realise how catchy and, you know, famous they are, you can't really not call it pop, or at least include it in the umbrella term of pop music. Starting out with the song Shout, which is possibly one of the most recognisable choruses in British music, I'd say. I just feel like one person in a room would start saying shout, shout, let it all out. Like, everyone would just join in and know exactly what the song is. It's just got that kind of iconic feel to it. And we have to put respect on James Corden's and Dizzy Rascal's name, because obviously this is a cover song of that, obviously. Just to really sort of let your intensity escape you by just shouting and let it all out. It's a very basic and simple concept and idea, but goddamn, it works. And I really like the percussion on this track. It really drives the song. It's one of those tracks that is more percussion heavy than the melody carrying the song. Usually for me, particularly in like 2010s pop music, this was something that really annoyed me and really got on my nerves, how you could hear the drums high in the mix and how that can carry a song. Sometimes it drowns out any kind of melody. There's loads of examples of this, not at the top of my head, but there's definitely been loads in popular music for the past like 10ish years, and it can be hard to get right. But this song, by the way, after all that big spiel that I just went through, this song does get it right. It's the only song on the album that really has that sort of percussion heaviness to it, though. Much of this album tends to let other instruments drive the instrumental. Obviously, you got synths, you got pianos, you got the wonderful sax on the working hour. God damn, that sax. Kenny G could never, but of course you have to give a shout out as well. Shout to the vocals. They carry so much passion. It's unreal how much energy and how much force is behind the vocals for Tears for Fears. Like, there is an insane amount of just euphoria coming out. Like, this album is Euphoria, the album. You might hear me use the word euphoria to describe other songs and other albums on this channel, but I'm not entirely sure if any album comes close to that euphoric blissfulness that this one does. It just sounds like they're always screaming from the top of a tower, and then, you know, their words are just carried through by the echoes across the entire city. It just always sounds like that. Like, it's insane how much passion can come out of the voices here. It's wonderful. Everybody Wants to Rule the World is just such a special moment in pop music. This genuinely is one of the greatest pop songs that I have still ever heard to this day. It is so bloody good. God damn, it just sounds eternal. It sounds like it will never die. It sounds like it came out yesterday. Like, it's one of those songs that just sounds like it's gonna live on forever. I don't know how they did this. I don't know how they managed to create something so eternal with this song. It truly is like that. The melody, the rhythm is fantastic, the vocals, the way that the song is kind of negative in the lyrics, but the way it sounds upbeat is quite a common thing, a common trope in pop music, or even all kinds of music really. Hey Ya by Outkast being one of the best examples of that. Very depressing lyrics, but goddamn, is that not one of the most positive sounding songs you've ever fucking heard? And this song is kind of like that as well. It's got a bit of a negativity to it, but they sell the fuck out of it. And when a song sounds this good, you can't deny it. And would you believe that it never reached #1 in the UK? It was #2. What a tragedy, what a travesty in music. This is insane. How is a song this good not #1? This is why I can't trust the British public, man. I do think my favourite part of the song actually is though is that he blurts out, "Say that you'll never, 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 never need." I love that part. Just goosebumps every time. Not something I say often about music or songs, but that part, my God, that gives me, ooh, the hairs stand up, you know? I like the juxtaposition of this song and then being right next to Mother's Talk, which sounds exactly of its time. Like, it is such an 80s sounding song. It honestly sounds like it could make it into some kind of like cheesy action film soundtrack. Perhaps David Hasselhoff is the main character or something like that. Not to attack the song, it's a fantastic song, but I just think next to Everybody Who Wants to Rule the World, which sounds so eternal and sounds so fresh and modern, it's just kind of funny how this one sounds very 80s. It's super uplifting and positive in its sound though. Like I say, this band is just really second to none when it comes to making just really big sounding songs. Everything sounds so big. I mean, they really went to the biggest chair and picked the songs, didn't they, for this album? Head Over Heels is more pop perfection. Many people know this song through the Donnie Darko soundtrack, of course used very well in that film. Yeah, this is brilliant. This is brilliant, man. Oh my God, it is just so good. The la 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 section towards the end is just, again, goosebumps inspiring, and it just sounds so blissful, you know, and heavenly. I love the vocals on this track as well. They are probably the most diverse within one song in the whole album. Not to say that the other tracks are stagnant or anything like that, but the way he kind of like shifts his pitch throughout the verses I think is really clever and makes the song just have like different levels to it, which I like. Quite simple conceptually with the lyrics pretty much being just a love song, but yeah, just sold so well. The execution is fantastic here, and that really for me is how I tend to judge songs like this. You know, if the lyrics aren't necessarily the most groundbreaking, trend-setting, poetic shit you've ever heard, it doesn't really matter when the vocals have enough passion behind them to sell it. It's brilliant. Listen closes this out with a much more like ethereal, atmospheric tone, very different to much of the album. Definitely think they were trying to toy with some newer sort of experimental ideas for this one. It definitely pays off. I mean, it sounds good. It just sounds very different to much of the album too. And then of course you've also got Broken, which is like paired with Head Over Heels and links into it quite nicely. Yeah, just so much to love with this album. It is just brilliant. It's aged ridiculously well. It has no right to have aged this well. There are some 80s albums, I think, that not necessarily have aged badly, but I think some ideas and some sort of synth you know, sounds from the 80s sound quite dated nowadays. But this album, like, remarkable how it sounds so modern and new. It's sensational. That in itself is an achievement, but when the songs are this fantastic as well. Yeah, it's a classic. Oh, it's an easy classic. This is one of the best pop albums for me by far, and I hope it is for you as well. Thank you for watching my review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you agreed with what I said. If you don't, or you do, either way, let me know in the comments. Would love to see your thoughts. And thank you as always for watching the channel. Do have a good day and goodbye. Subscribe and goodbye.